Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for coming to watch. I got guys an update on Hurricane Erin. So, Erin is currently moving across portions of the tropical Atlantic just north of the Lesser Antilles. She is undergoing a phase of rapid intensification. You can see that she is still battling some of that Saharan dust, but she will make her way up into the southwest Atlantic where she may take that curve north. I've got all the details coming right up. So, thank you for joining me here on this Friday evening. We have a lot to talk about in this video, so we're going to go over all the latest details on Hurricane Erin, which again, she is really starting to explode in that activity. But as always, we're going to start out by taking a look at your current satellite. So really across the main picture here, you can see obviously Erin right in the center of your screen here, popping off that convective. You can see those greens and even those blues. That's where you're seeing some very explosive thunderstorms there. And a lot of those outer bands reaching all the way down into the Lesser Antilles. So this is a very widespread storm, so there are a lot of people feeling the impacts. We are starting to see even some rain across portions of Leeward Islands here. So if you are under especially those tropical storm watches, please make sure that you are again taking them seriously, as we are talking about tropical storm force winds and heavy rain being possible. But out ahead of Erin, you can see we also do have still a lot of Saharan dust left over that hasn't quite kind of fizzled out here. So we're still seeing as Erin continues to battle it off, but just because of how conducive these environmental conditions are for Erin to explode in intensification, she does not have a problem with all this dust. In fact, there is so little wind shear that Erin is going to continue to strengthen. But once this dust is out of her way and she makes that curve north, she is going to go through a very intense few hours of intensification there. So we'll continue to watch for when that does happen. But also in the very right hand side of your screen, you can barely see it, we do have a new tropical wave that is just about to move off the coast of Africa that the models have been picking up on. We'll talk about this in a future update, but the GFS has been one of the more aggressive models with this wave. It is inside the 300-hour mark, so we will have to talk about this in the next coming updates, but I definitely do think that this will be our next potential named storm to worry about. Obviously, way too far out to talk about anything too crazy, but we'll definitely continue to watch for a possible signal over the next couple of weeks. Alright, so we're going to be moving on here to the current satellite here for Hurricane Erin. So you can see, again, Erin popping off a lot of that significant convection there. Hopefully this will load a little bit better. You can see again a pinhole eye also trying to develop there. You can see in the past couple of frames a much more organized looking system, very explosive outer bands as well as what I like to mention here, which is a very healthy sign for a strong tropical system. But this is a very strong hurricane here, likely approaching Category 2 status as we speak. But again, as that eye and eye wall starts to become much more well defined, that's when we're going to start to see some pretty intense, strengthening with Erin. But Erin is a very healthy, high-end Category 1 hurricane at this point, and it will be a very short amount of time until Erin does become a major hurricane. So we take a look at the latest National Hurricane Center forecast cone. You can see as of 8 p.m. today, this was Erin's tropical storm wind field, still pretty small, but definitely expanding there. And then we did have hurricane force winds right in the middle of the X, so pretty small system. But I will say that Erin is definitely starting to grow in size just based off the latest satellite. So Erin will continue to chug here across portions of the southwest Atlantic, and then already as we get into tomorrow night into Sunday morning, we will likely see Erin go from a Category 2 to Category 3 major hurricane, again, as it passes north of the Greater Antilles, and it will begin to start, making that curve to the north here. Already by Monday, we will see the storm make its way just to the east of the Bahamas. At this point, it's kind of paralleling the Bahamas, and as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, this is about the beginning of our work week next week. We will likely see Erin make that full curve north. Again, that is still in our cone of uncertainty, but I do think that there will definitely be the opportunity for some changes to happen, but it's looking like that the storm will curve to the north anywhere between Bermuda and the east coast of the United States. So as of right now, no pieces of land are in the direct impact zone here, or the direct path of Erin. So thankfully, it looks like we'll be spared by this one. But tropical storm watches remain in effect here for portions of the Lesser Antilles, again, just to the east of Puerto Rico there, as tropical storm force winds and heavy rainfall continues there. Alright, so before we get into the full breakdown of Hurricane Erin and where it's going to be going, you can see if we take a look at the forecast cone once again, we are not only expecting Erin to become a major hurricane, but also a Category 4 hurricane. So I just wanted to come on here and show you guys kind of what Erin is going to be looking like as far as how strong exactly it will get. So you can see as it makes that turn north, again, just north of the Turks and Caicos, and the Dominican Republic, it will become a Category 4 major hurricane sometime between early Sunday morning and Sunday evening there. But you can see the peak forecast intensity at this moment is 145 mile per hour winds, maximum sustained winds there, a Category 4 hurricane. So a mid to high end Category 4 hurricane is looking likely at this point. And some models are even predicting that we could see close to a Category 5 hurricane. Will that happen? I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely still a possibility, so we cannot rule it out. But again, this storm is going to be an absolute beast of a hurricane in a very short amount of time. So just in about 48 hours or so, this will go from being a Category 1 hurricane to likely a Category 4 hurricane, again, before you know it there. So big time changes are on the way here for Erin's intensity, but that's how strong Erin is forecasted to get as of right now. Alright, so we take a look at the latest National Hurricane Center homepage here. Take a look at just the full Atlantic Basin, and you can see other than Erin here being down at 100 mile an hour sustained winds there, with the central pressure of around 979 millibars. Actually, Erin is now a Category 2 hurricane at the latest update here. So this is actually just came in conveniently 10 minutes before I started recording here. Erin is now a Category 2 hurricane and expected to rapidly intensify into a major hurricane this weekend. So that's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. So again, Erin is now a Category 2 hurricane with maximum sustained winds at 100 miles per hour and minimum central pressure at around 979 millibars. So Erin continues to move west-northwest here at about 17 miles per hour, so she is picking up some steam, but definitely still taking her sweet time there as she moves across the southwest Atlantic. And then finally, we also do have this little new area of interest here across the western Atlantic, again, just to the east of the Carolina coastline. Very low 10% chance of development. Not really expecting anything too much with this system, but there is a chance that we could see potentially a tropical depression if this upticks. But once again, not really seeing anything too crazy with this new area of possible formation there. All right. So we are going to be moving on here to the HWRF hurricane model to kind of forecast what Erin is going to be looking like over the next couple hours as far as intensity goes. And you can see as we get into already into tomorrow morning, this is tonight to tomorrow morning, you can see HWRF bring this down well into the 970s. Again, Erin already at 979 millibars, but by tomorrow morning we could be taking a look already at a sub 970 millibar hurricane here, so likely approaching Category 3 status. And all throughout tomorrow we are talking about significant rapid intensification. And I want you guys to notice as well, look how much the storm expands from now to just the next couple of hours. This thing goes from a very weak hurricane to a ferocious Category 3 plus hurricane already by Sunday 11, or this is tomorrow night, Saturday, into about the 11 p.m. Eastern time frame here. We could be talking about already a 954 Category 3 millibar Category 3 hurricane. So I definitely do think that we could see Erin reach major hurricane status sometime between tomorrow afternoon and evening. But overnight tomorrow night into Sunday is when the main kind of time frame for rapid intensification will be, where you can see Erin drops a whole 10 millibars in just a few hours there. But Erin drops down all the way to 938 millibars on the latest HWRF. So we are talking about a extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane here already by 11 p.m. Sunday here. So as we get into Monday, the storm will continue to move north, now dropping down to 934 millibars. So at this point, I would say that it's not out of the question that we could see Erin make a small run for Category 5 status. Will it happen? I wouldn't say that it's likely, but, when you have a storm with only 934 millibars, also take a look at that satellite. I mean, this is a picture-perfect hurricane. Look at that eye there and that eye wall on the simulated satellite. This is what Erin is going to be looking like in the next couple of days. I mean, remember, this is what Erin looks like right now. And then by Monday, this is what Erin should look like. I mean, a ferocious Category 4 plus hurricane. But again, I do think that Category 5 status is not quite out of reach. Will we see it? Not quite sure. But the storm will definitely expand there in size. Again, getting down to 934 millibars, so about high-end Category 4 status. As it makes that turn north, you can see it is climbing in latitude there, so the storm is starting to move north. And then I believe Bermuda should pop up actually on our screen sooner than later. But again, the storm will be continuing to move north into the western Atlantic. And then we end the run here by Thursday of next week, where the storm will continue to move north. But just an absolutely massive eye there with, again, a 950 millibar hurricane. Still about Category 3 status there by Thursday, alright? So that's the latest HWRF. We look at the latest GFS and compare here, and the GFS really shows the same kind of scenario playing out. The GFS, I will say, is a little bit slower on the strengthening with Erin, but it does still bring the hurricane down to about 946 millibars by Tuesday. So again, we saw Erin get down to about 940 millibars by Saturday night into Sunday morning on the HWRF. Now, the GFS has it a few days later, now getting into Tuesday and Wednesday, where we finally do see Erin get down to the 937 millibar range there, 935 millibars by Tuesday night into Wednesday. So if we do see that later time frame of rapid intensification, there will be more limited time for Erin to strengthen into a Category 4 plus. So the GFS is going with more limited strengthening there. As it continues to move north, it does weaken as it moves into more unfavorable waters and just environmental conditions. So we will see which model obviously plays out to be the victor in this situation here, but I definitely do think that, again, if we do see something like what the HWRF was showing, that Category 5 status may not quite be out of reach here. And if you look at the latest GFS, I know this is getting pretty far out, but it also does show another hurricane developing on the backside, which we'll have to talk about in a future update, because again, it's really looking like there is a new signal for another tropical wave to develop behind Erin. So that's the latest GFS. Now, we also take a look at the icon. I do want to show the icon because it has been definitely it's been an outlier over the past couple of days, but I'll show you why. So the icon has always been favoring a far more southern track, but it really takes this phase of rapid intensification seriously, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I don't know how else to say it. But the icon already by Sunday evening has a 939 millibar Category 4 hurricane, and it jumps from 935 to 929 millibars in just about, 4 hours or so. But as we get from Monday night into Tuesday morning, the icon is forecasting Erin to jump all the way down to a 904 millibar Category 5 hurricane. This is a extremely strong, this is a powerful Category 5 hurricane that the icon is going for. Again, sitting just off the coast of the Bahamas, but this is a huge storm system here, becoming very expansive, and it continues to move north, also staying dangerously close to land, so a little bit farther towards the east coast than the GFS and the HWRF showed. But this is definitely one of the more aggressive models in terms of, how close to land this will get, and also how strong it will be, because again, the GFS has the storm staying way out to sea. So just something to note there. If we do see something more like the Icon and the HWRF play out, I do think that there obviously is a chance for Erin to become a Category 5 hurricane. Will happen. We don't know that yet for sure. But it shouldn't be too big of a problem because, again, Erin is forecasted to go and curve out to sea at this time. That's going to bring us to the next part of the update because something that I want to show you guys is the steering currents for Erin. This is going to be kind of giving us an idea of what's driving Erin off to the north and what's really causing it to go completely out to sea. So we look at the latest European model here. This is the 18Z Euro. You can see Erin down here, this little blue blob. Wherever you see the warmer colors of red and orange, this is where we're talking about high pressure and ridging. This is kind of a defense force or a shield for wherever the high pressure is. So wherever you see the orange and red colors, this is where you're probably going to see Erin become steered away from. If you see these blues, this is where you're seeing low pressure and where you're seeing troughs. Troughs tend to pick up hurricanes and pick them out to sea. In this case, that is what we're going to be seeing here. So the blue colors mean low pressure and troughing, and the orange and red colors, the warm colors, means high pressure ridging. So you can see as we get into this weekend into Monday, you can see our high pressure is keeping the storm farther south, slowing it down from going, full on into the East Coast here. But you do have this nearby trough that's hanging down here from Atlantic Canada, and it does slow down just enough where it does kind of attract the storm to kind of start to move its way off to the east, but it does not go completely out to sea here because you'll notice to the south there's more ridging and high pressure building behind Erin. So this kind of acts as a trap and keeps Erin from going completely out to sea because, again, Erin could go, just like this and go way out towards where that trough went. But this high pressure seems like it's kind of keeping Erin close to the United States and potentially making a pathway for Erin to go a little bit closer, or potentially even make an impact on the United States. So that's why, even with the official National Hurricane Center forecast cone showing Erin going out to sea, I think we still cannot quite rule out some impact to the United States because you got to remember, the Euro, right off the bat, was the least aggressive towards potential land impacts, and it is still hanging on with the idea that Erin will be, only a few hundred miles off the coast of the Carolinas here. We get into your Thursday, and, I mean, this is a pretty far west run here of the Euro, and it's all thanks to this high-pressure ridging that's keeping it from going way out to sea, and you can see that trough, the timing does not work out for this trough to be able to pick up Erin, so Erin is no longer able to be steered off to the east and out to sea, where rather it's going to be shoved up to the north, closer to land, but eventually kind of make that curve. So we'll see which path Erin decides to take, but it's looking like there's a chance that Erin could definitely come a little bit farther and a little bit closer towards the coastline than initially expected there. But finally, Erin does get picked up by that trough and is, for real this time, taken out to sea. So for the last part of the update, I do want to take a look at the GFS for your wave height. So you may be thinking, why am I saying still that U.S. impacts are going to be possible along the East Coast, even if the storm is going to go out to sea? Well, even if you don't get impacted by a hurricane is going to cause huge waves. And that's going to be a problem for the entire East Coast because Erin is going to be a giant wave maker. So if you take a look, Erin is going to be a very expansive system, so again, going to become a very large hurricane over the next couple of days. That's going to create some very large waves. So as the storm continues to parallel the East Coast, it will generate huge waves, and these arrows show where the wave's direction is. And you can see all of these waves are going right into the East Coast. So large swells, rough seas, and definitely some, some very, very, high waves are going to be expected here across the East Coast. And as the storm gets closest as possible to the East Coast, the arrow is going for, close to 10-foot waves. anywhere from really the New England coastline points south here. So if you are anywhere along the coastline from Florida all the way up to really Maine, you need to be on alert for some very, very high waves and rough seas, because again, Erin is going to be kind of pushing all of this water towards the coastline, where we could be talking about some very rough surf. So if you are on the East Coast, talking about a potential beach day, stay safe out there on the water. If the waves are too high, don't go out too far, because again, I mean, the New England coastline, I definitely do think could be one of the most hard hit communities out of all of this, because if you see, you're talking about southern New England specifically, I mean, the Euro is gone for 10 plus foot waves, so big time rough seas, or the GFS, big time rough seas here, generated by Hurricane Erin. So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys had a great day for yourselves. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you're staying safe out there. Again, if you're along the beachfront and you are planning on having a beach day while Erin is off the coast, make sure you're not going too far out in the water, because again, we could be talking about some rough seas and definitely some currents. So again, make sure you are staying safe out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for coming to watch. I'll see you guys in the next video.